faithful Niner Empire. What's good? What's good? What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Welcome back, faithful Niner Empire, to week 10 of the NFL football season. The 49ers are coming off of a bye week, and it was a great feeling to go into the bye week with the win versus the LA Rams. But now we have our eyes set on the LA Superchargers, another LA team. It's going to be a very interesting game. The Chargers are a talented team. They've dealt with some injuries just like the 49ers have, but it should be an interesting game. 49ers, like I said before, are coming off of a bye week. The 49ers are 2-3 under Kyle Shanahan coming after a bye week. So what 49ers team will show up on Levi's Stadium on Sunday Night Football prime time? As you can tell, I'm excited for the game. The whole world's going to be watching, but what 49er team will show up Sunday night against the LA Chargers? That's going to be the question that will be answered after the game on Sunday. But huge shout out to everyone watching this right now. Appreciate you rocking with Jay in the Bay and the 49ers Cutback crew. I'm excited to break down this game. Now let's get into Jay's 5 big things.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5 big things.
Number 1, set the tone. Like I said before, the 49ers are a 4-4 team. That sounds like an inconsistent team to me. We don't know which team will show up on a week-to-week basis. And how will the 49ers, come out at home in front of the faithful after a bye week? The players and coaches are rested. They're refreshed. They're ready to go. The coaching staff has had 2 weeks to prepare versus this Chargers team. So how will the 49ers come out? And how will the tone be set? We know that Kyle Shanahan does great in his first 15 scripted plays. And I think this will be a high-scoring game, but I'm intrigued to see how the 49ers will set the tone versus the LA Chargers. We obviously got to be fast. We got to be physical, and we have to win at the point of the attack, obviously the line of scrimmage. So that's something I'm looking for. What type of energy, what type of enthusiasm does this team have coming off of the bye week at home versus the LA Chargers? And that's why this, for me, is my number 1 big thing. The 49ers have to set the tone on both sides of the ball. Number 2, reinforcements. I don't know if you guys heard, faithful, but the 49ers are getting some players back. Elijah Mitchell, Kyle Juszczyk, Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Dre Greenlaw, Aziz. Unfortunately, as we're recording this today, there's a very unfortunate, sad news about Jason Verrett. Terrible news for a guy that, his body just cannot stay healthy. Unfortunately, we will not see Jason Verrett for the duration of the season. It sucks. He was working so hard to get back. But, wish Jason Verrett well, man, not only in his playing future, but just, off the field and, when he retires. But very unfortunate news about Jason Verrett, wishing him a speedy recovery. But the 49ers will be a healthier team in the second half of the season. That's what I'm hoping for. We are getting some guys back, as I just mentioned. So we should see, definitely, we should be better on offense, better on defense. I'm excited to see, one of the best linebacker trios back against the LA Chargers. And also getting Deebo back there and Elijah Mitchell. I think those are going to be huge keys for this offense. And we still have weapons galore on both sides of the ball, and I can't wait to see them unleashed versus the LA Chargers. Number 3, man, we definitely have to run the ball. The LA Chargers are a very good team. They're second in the AFC West so far. But one thing that they struggle, I think they're the worst team in the NFL as far as average rushing yards allowed. It's upwards of 130, 140 rushing yards allowed. And obviously, this is something that the 49ers want to do. We have to establish the run. We have to win at the point of the attack. And I can't wait to see a healthy dose of CMC, Elijah Mitchell. We'll probably see maybe a little bit of Debo in the backfield. And we may even see maybe Tevin Coleman, maybe Jordan Mason. We'll see. But there definitely will be a heavy dose of run versus the LA Chargers. This is something that their defense struggles to defend. So we know running the ball sets the tone. You win the time of possession. You put this team away. And that can be established with the 49ers running game. That's my number 3 big things. Let's get into number 4. Obviously, we got to win the turnover battle, faithful. You know it. We can't afford to shoot ourselves in the foot and still expect to win games. There's a reason why we're 4-4. And those games that we've lost, I can't say 100% sure, but I can imagine that we've lost the turnover battle in all the games that we've lost. It's just not a recipe for success, especially in the NFL. So got to win the turnover battle. We've been doing pretty well on defense and getting interceptions. Maybe we can start that back up off the bye week versus, Justin Herbert. Obviously, he's a hell of a talent at the quarterback position, but we're definitely going to have to protect the football at all costs. We can't afford to give the Chargers extra opportunities on offense, but we also, we need to put some pressure on this Chargers offense and maybe get an interception or a forced fumble. So definitely got to win the turnover battle. Number 5. I feel this is the 49ers defense toughest challenge yet. Now, the Chargers, they do have some injuries on the offensive side of the ball. Justin Herbert's 2 best wide receivers most likely won't play, or they could be a game time decision. That's something that we'll have to see Sunday about an hour and a half before kickoff. But Keelan Allen hasn't played much this year. Mike Williams, I believe he's been out at least the last 2 games with various injuries. So, but you still got to watch out for Justin Herbert, man. He is a one of the best young talent at quarterbacks that this league has seen. The guy can do it all. He's mobile as well. So he will present some, challenges for this 49ers defense. And, that's something that we definitely have to be prepared for. Obviously, you got to get pressure on him. But as far as I think this is probably outside of Pat Mahomes, this is probably the second best quarterback that we've played so far this year. And he's going to present some challenges. And I think we can overcome it, but we got to play as a unit, as a team. And I think we can definitely accomplish some great things versus the LA Superchargers. But those are Jay's 5 big things.
Hey, Jay!
It's time for Hey Jay, where members of the 49ers Cutback send in questions for yours truly, Jay in the Bay. Let's get the first question. So we've got Bearded 49er. What's good? Bearded 49er says, hey, Jay, should the 49ers leave Jimmy Ward at nickel or move him back to safety? Oh, we definitely move him back to safety. I love Jimmy Ward, but I don't think Jimmy Ward should be there for, majority of the defensive snaps. If we put in Jimmy Ward there at about 5 to 7 snaps a game at the nickel spot, I'm cool with that. But for majority of the snaps, I think Jimmy Ward is best served to play that safety spot. Tayshaun Gibson has played well. He's got a few interceptions. I think he's played well, but I don't think he should start over Jimmy Ward at that free safety spot opposite of Talanoa Hufanga. So if I had my druthers, Jimmy Ward will be starting at safety, and I think that's best for the 49ers defense, and I think it's best for Jimmy Ward. I think he's better at the safety spot. He's not a corner. We've already tried that experiment. he plays his best ball as a safety. I mean, he was a top 100 player at the safety spot. I think he should be moved back to safety. Appreciate the question, though, Bearded 49er. All right, we have Alex in the building. What's good? Appreciate the question, Alex. Alex says, with his role of 2+ TD games, could Jimmy perhaps be underrated this year? Wow. That's hey, you think very highly of Jimmy G. And hey, I appreciate your optimism, but that's the first time I've ever heard someone say that Jimmy G was underrated this year. I think Jimmy G has played well. Every game, there's going to be Jimmy oh no throws. We've seen it every game. Defenders, sometimes they pick him off, sometimes they don't pick him off. I think Jimmy is solid. You know, he's a good decision maker majority of the time, but it's just those few throws that can really hurt us. But hey, Jimmy balled out against the Rams last week, 2 TDs. He was very efficient. I think it was like he only had like 2 or 3 incompletions out of like 25 passes. So I would take that Jimmy every week if I could. But I don't think he's underrated. I think he is a solid starting quarterback. You know, I think he's somewhere between, you know, your top 14 to top 17 quarterback. But yeah, I mean, the 49ers are glad that Jimmy G is under center. That's for sure. And hey, if he keeps playing turnover football, that's really all we can ask for. And I think he can continue to do that. But appreciate the question, Alex. We have Jason Hill. What's good? Jason Hill says, what is the most logical fix for cornerback now? And I'm sure you're asking this question due to Jason Verrett getting hurt. I won't be surprised if the 49ers bring in a veteran free agent cornerback. That wouldn't surprise me at all. They can bring him in, they'll probably bring in 3 to 5 guys for a workout, and whoever is the best, they can bring on a cornerback on the practice squad. But I think the 49ers stick with who we have now. You know, if all our guys stay healthy, that's a huge if. But I think the 49ers are content with, you know, Samuel Womack, Demo Lenore, Ambry Thomas. There's also Dante Johnson as well. So he can fill in at that nickel spot. He could play a little bit of safety as well. So I think the 49ers will stick with the guys in the room now. But I think it would be in their best interest to bring in a few corners and work them out and bring them on the practice squad just to have that extra depth needed at their cornerback spot. So I think they stand pat, but I hope they bring in a guy just at least for competition and just in case someone else gets hurt. But I appreciate the question, Jason.
Fadeaway J.
It's time for Fadeaway J. Let's get it. So the Chargers are a very talented team. They've got some injuries. They do have some household names on defense. Asante Samuel at that cornerback spot, Derwin James at the safety spot, Kyle Van Noy, Khalil Mack. You know, those guys can rush after the passer. Kyle Van Noy is pretty solid in coverage. The Chargers are a team. They're second in the division, AFC West. They're 5-3. They haven't really played their most consistent ball this season, but a lot of teams could say that unless you're, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. Definitely have to watch out for if Keenan Allen or Mike Williams play, because obviously those guys are difference makers when they're on the field. The Chargers do have Austin Eckler, but he's a good back, but they just don't run the ball consistently enough to really be one of the better top, you know, the better rushing teams. But no doubt, Austin Eckler can do it all out of the backfield. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. And, you know, I'm excited for this game. You know, I was telling Ant that, you know, it was weird without 49ers football last week. It was kind of boring. Obviously, I love football, but there's nothing like 49ers football. And I'm glad to see that we're getting some guys back and we're getting healthier as the season progresses. And I'm excited to see all the guys back and, you know, playing in front of our fans at Levi Stadium. This game's going to be nationally televised. The whole world will be watching on Sunday Night Football. So I think could be a high scoring game. I've said it before, but this defense isn't the same without Emmanuel Mosley being in there. And, you know, I think we aren't as good at corner as we were with Mosley in there. And I think this allows teams to throw on us. And Justin Herbert is a damn good quarterback. But I still think the 49ers can win this game. We're going to control the tempo, win the time of possession by running the ball down the Chargers' throat. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the 49ers run the ball over 38 times in this game. And I think that should secure a win. Obviously, third down defense is going to be key for the 49ers. Definitely have to make sure that the Chargers don't make consecutive third downs, kind of like what we did last week or 2 weeks ago against the Rams. I think the 49ers, though, will win this game. I think it will be high scoring. I'm taking the 49ers to beat the LA Superchargers 31-27. And I think that will continue our win streak. And then we have another primetime game the following week. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. What's good with yours truly, Jay in the Bay. Everyone have a prosperous week. Go Niners.